I am lost for words and I'm disturbed, but I'm not surprised. People, I want you to go back where this young man was wilding out. He had a mental issue. He was homeless, was hungry, had nowhere to go. System locked him up instead of seek help for him. Stuff like that. He was on the train threatening people that he wants to go to jail and all of these kind of things. So the question becomes, when a black man has a mental episode, they're still wrong. When a black man going through mental illness, they have no feelings, nobody cares. But if it's the other way around, mental illness is indeed. That's why nobody could even come and talk about mental illness when it comes towards being all of these kind of things, because people use that saying freely out here and don't know that it's hurting the black community when it comes to some of these people that don't see us fit. That some people that don't like us will use that on us to bury our thoughts and our mind and our uproar. I want you guys to remember what happened to this young man choked by a veteran, knowing that if you put a chokehold on someone, you will kill them. Knowing that if you are a veteran, and you know your chokehold is to kill because you're always in a war zone, that kind of chokehold is to kill your enemy. That chokehold is not to hold on someone from carrying on the train. Boy never had no knife. Boy weren't beating anyone. He was just threatening someone. So why hold him in that chokehold and kill him off? So let's revisit this case quick and fast because I had to come and talk about it. So if you guys don't remember about Neely case, watch this.
The defense had previously argued. Prosecutors say Penny acted recklessly, gripping Neely's neck for nearly 6 minutes, not letting go even after the train pulled into the station and passengers were able to get off. The defense, during their summations yesterday, called the trial a rush to judgment, arguing the attention and protests motivated the DA's office to file those charges and ask the jury to imagine for a moment they were on that train. The trial has taken more than a month so far. Jurors have heard testimony from witnesses, police officers, and medical experts. If they find Penny guilty, he could face up to 15 years in prison for the top charge of manslaughter. The judge could also choose not to sentence Penny to any prison time, even if he is convicted. Reporting from Lower Manhattan.
So that is that, people. That is that. The little boy was choked to death on the train. They found this guy not guilty. They found this guy not guilty from the chokehold. Let's get into it. Let's get into it, guys.
We've got some more breaking news out of New York City. Daniel Penny is found not guilty in the New York City subway chokehold death of Jordan Neely. Let's go to our partners, CBS News New York, for this breaking news.
Good afternoon. I'm Jessica Moore. We interrupt programming with breaking news. A verdict is in the Daniel Penny trial. Penny has been found not guilty of criminally negligent homicide. Penny is the Marine veteran accused in the chokehold death of Jordan Neely on board a subway train last year. Over the last 8 weeks, jurors heard testimony from more than 40 witnesses, including subway passengers aboard the F train, police who responded, a Marine Corps instructor who taught Daniel Penny chokehold techniques, and Penny's relatives and friends. Penny himself did not testify during the trial. His attorneys say Penny was trying to protect other riders while Jordan Neely was making threats and acting erratically on the train. Prosecutors say Penny intended to protect riders but used too much force, gripping Neely's neck for nearly 6 minutes, which prosecutors say was past the point of him posing a threat. The chokehold death, as you remember, sparked protests last spring and debate over how the city responds to mental health emergencies. The two charges originally in this case were manslaughter in the second degree and criminally negligent homicide. You might remember on Friday, the jury came back deadlocked twice. Prosecutors then moved to drop the top charge.
Only in the black case that they always have a deadlock twice. First it was murder, nope, deadlock. Manslaughter, nope, deadlock. I'm assuming that there was some veteran on that jury pool. I'm assuming that there weren't really no black ones on the jury pool. And I'm assuming that everybody is pretending that they were on that train that day. But did anybody pretend to have mental illness? And anybody pretend to know when you're homeless, hungry, mental illness, you're erratic, you go outside and act crazy, even beat yourself and beat people? Anyone? The black man didn't need any help. He wasn't crying out for help. He was just crying out to be choked to death. Oh, the nation. Oh, America. Seriously? Let's continue.
Manslaughter. Here's a look at that verdict sheet. After dismissing the superseding charge, jurors had to decide if the prosecution proved beyond a reasonable doubt that Penny caused the death of Neely, did so with criminal negligence, and was not justified.
Prosecutor did a poor case. It's a black man case. Prosecutor did a horrible job now. Horrible job.
In his actions. Jurors were allowed to take Penny's character into consideration when they weighed that character against all the other evidence. The jury in this trial is anonymous, made up of 12 people from Manhattan, a diverse.
Out of the black men on the train that are homeless and frustrated, who would more to be erratic? The veteran that's coming from the army that saw all kind of things. So anything he see in his way, he's going to kill it. Obviously, if you're always in a war zone and you see an imminent threat right now on the train, what you're going to do? You're going to basically in your mind, you want to kill it because you're vet. Listen, man, kiss me teeth and pass. 12 jurors, 7 women and 5 men. Really? Oh.
7 women and 5 men. We're going to take you live now to the courthouse in Lower Manhattan. Tim McNicholas is standing by. He was there when the verdict was read outside. Alice Gaynor is inside the courtroom. Tim, we heard reports earlier of protesters outside. What's the mood there outside the courthouse now that the verdict has been read?
You know, Jessica, just about 10 minutes ago, NYPD actually used barricades to divide 2 groups of protesters behind me. I'm not sure if you can see these officers back here, but there are 2 groups of protesters. There's a group that is supporting Daniel Penny. They had megaphones and signs in support of Penny. And there's also a group that wanted to see Penny convicted. Those people were actually chanting earlier today, and that came up in today's proceedings in the courtroom. Penny's defense team expressed concern that that group was maybe chanting so loud that the jury could hear them, and the judge.
Anyways, let's get to the family and the family reaction of this, okay? Let's get to this one.
I'm Dante Mills. We're devastated, upset, angry, hurt. Over and over again, we keep coming to the system, asking the system to let us know that our lives have value. Jordan Neely was choked to death.
Choked to death. This is what's so disturbing. That's why you see this is why I keep on telling you black folks, every day on the out here shout. Me have mental problem. When it comes to the public people that don't look like us, there's nothing called mental problem. These people tell you that you have a mental problem, they'll give you all these kind of medication, and when it comes to court system and the justice system, that's not going to give you a break, but they give other people a break. The guy on the subway had mental issue, and the vet had mental issue as well. Because nobody's messed up more than a vet coming from the army, coming from war zone. You understand? Not only that, the veteran army, the vet almost is like a police officer in the eyes of the jury and the eyes of everybody in that court. He's almost treated the same. Right? They almost treated the same. This man was on the train acting crazy. Why didn't they not call the police? Why hold him in a chokehold? Why didn't you not just hold his hands down and his feet down? Why hold him in a chokehold? If you're army vet, can you hold somebody in a chokehold without killing them? Aren't you not trained to kill? And if a chokehold is illegal, why are you using a chokehold on him anyway? So these are the things that I'm talking about. Black men don't have the skin for protection. I'm tired for telling you. Imagine all of this bullshit. So first murder, deadlock. Manslaughter, deadlock. Really? Oh my.
By someone who didn't care, people was telling him to stop.
Exactly.
Last week, the jury they couldn't decide on the top charge, but they come back this week and they give up on us.
Yeah.
The family's hurt. I promised this family that we would get justice. We're still going to do that. We're going to move forward with our suit. The district attorney did a good job,
Never,
but
he
the
did a
jury in
poor
this
job.
case let us down. So now here's what we have. We have a call to action, because you have to do something with this anger and with this rage. Our call to action is to take care of each other. We can't rely on outside people.
Cannot. And the
If we
justice
see
system.
someone asking for food, we have to take the responsibility to give it to them. If we see someone cold,
He was asking for food, people. He's hungry. Nobody could have gave him a $5 and a $10 or $20. Remember, this boy dance for a living on the train. He's homeless. That's the way he get his money. The next question becomes, there was no check for him to get the end of the month? Obviously not. A lot of Americans in America can't even get a check, but these illegal immigrants come over and get all kind of check, shelter, hotel, room, a place to live, and all of these things. And then people will say that Americans are racist. This is what I'm talking about. Imagine that you're an American born and you couldn't even get nowhere to live, no food, no money. But everybody else ship you and get everything that that you deserve. Not only that, you are suffering from mental illness, begging on the train that day that you're hungry. And none of the people them on the train had no empathy and sympathy, because remember, you're black. You should pull up your bootstrap and go to work now. Remember, you're black. You should be out here now doing all kind of things to make an honest bread. And when you go in some of these workplaces to make an honest bread, if you're not careful, them racist. If you're not careful, them underpay you. If you're not careful, them overwork you. And the list go on, people. Let's continue.
them a cope. If we see someone going through something, to ask them if they're okay. That's how we help each other, because we can't rely on the system to do it for us. And clearly, if we get to this point, it's too late. We have to be there for each other, and that's our call to action. Everybody that's pissed off at this verdict, I challenge you to go outside today and help one person. That's my challenge. If you're angry, if you're hurt, go help one person.
One homeless
That's
person.
how we beat the system. That's how we turn this around, by being there for each other.
I just want to say,
His
I
father.
miss my son.
His
My son
father.
didn't have to go through this. I didn't have to go through this either.
And you know what's so disturbing again about the black community? We have to call this out, because we're not going to play hypocrite with this one now. This boy was homeless, but none of the family members that came to court crying for justice could have helped that boy. We get to understand that when he's homeless, he stay away from the family. But can you have seek help? Could you guys beg him to stay where he is? He was homeless on the train begging for food that day. Where were all of these family members? And again, you have a lot of people going through some hardship and they don't want their family members to know. I get it. But you come to court now crying for even justice now when he was homeless and so much family members. I mean, to strangers, they'll be like, what? Okay, he was out here begging. You guys are here asking for justice. Why do you guys not help him? Why should us strangers help him when you, the family member, blood and flesh, not helping? All of these things, people. But anyway, justice.
It hurts. Really, really hurts. What are we going to do, people? What's going to happen to us now? I had enough of this. System is rigged. Come on, people. Let's do something about this.
Let's do something about it. Too often, we have Eric Garner's mother here.
She's the one who made the chokehold, remember?
There's too often this is happening, where we're left.
Remember Eric Gardner, mom, that was choked? The guy was choked out by the officer for selling a cigarette. Who called the police? One of those Arab people that own those convenience stores in the black community, again, rich off of the black community, but have no respect for the black community. Buy houses, send their children to school. Colleges and university after the black man diamond doesn't. But as soon as you stand up in front of their store, no loitering. Those signs are only made for black folks. Because white children will go sit in a restaurant, go sit in McDonald's, sit all over and have no money and don't buy one shit and sit there and loiter. Stand up on the plaza, do their own thing, laugh, sit there with their bike, laugh, carry on. No problem. But as soon as a black man sit there and do something, they claim he was selling loose cigarette. Now, did he deserve the chokehold for the loose cigarette? Anyways, kiss my teeth and pass.
In this society, we got to stop that. We have to change how we impact each other. Jordan came on that subway car. The first thing he asked for was food.
Exactly.
And he was killed. And the person who killed him was not held responsible.
Not at all.
We cannot allow this to keep happening.
Like the police are attacking police.
Good morning, everyone. Here we stand once again in front of this unjust system. I stood here 10 years ago because they did not give justice to my son with the chokehold. I fought hard to get the anti-chokehold bill passed, which did pass. But it shouldn't only be for police officers, it should be for civilians also. No one deserves to be choked to death. And you know, we're in that courtroom and people are cheering for the verdict. They made the loudest noise, the judge did nothing. But when his father spoke out, they put him out the courtroom. Is that justice? Or what? We can't allow this to keep going on. We have to fight this system. That's what I had to do. I had to fight to get the little justice that I got. I got one police officer fired. There's more that need to be fired. But I tell this family, do not give up. Because that's what they want you to do. They want to discourage you. Just like they tried to discourage me. But 10 years later, I'm still fighting. And I'm not only fighting for myself, I'm fighting for families like yourself. That's why I have to come out when this injustice is done. If this had been the other way, if your family had murdered this so-called innocent guy now, it would have been a different story. He would have been in jail or would have never came out. Yeah. But they don't do the same to us. It's two justice systems. You know that. And we have to stop this. And the only way that we can stop it is to stand together. Those of us who are against what happened, we have to speak up. We can't treat this just like another news story, not another press conference. We have to speak out, speak up, and stand up. So I just say today, we did not get justice once again. And I am saddened. I am truly saddened by the situation because it keeps on happening and no one is standing accountable for their actions. So that means that any civilian could get on the train if they feel threatened and they could choke someone out and they're going to get found not guilty. Just like today, this sets a precedent. And we can't let this happen. If the police can't do it, the civilians can't do it either. And I just want you to stand with this family. This family needs you right now.
Right on. I'm sorry to Dre. I'm sorry to Chris. I'm sorry that America has failed you. You've come here, you've shown discipline, you've shown strength, you've shown love, you've shown how to carry yourself with composure when you're facing this machine, this American judicial system that cannibalizes our people.
Right there.
But I'm going to tell you this, And I'm going to say it loud and clear. Let the marchers march and let the steppers step. Let the marchers march and let the steppers step. You want to do something about this verdict? Then you go into your neighborhood and you promote black unity.
Exactly.
Black people, we are all we have.
And killing each
This
other every day.
system protects every other group except for
us.
the very people that built this country.
Yeah. Amen.
Every group that comes here gets privileges, gets benefits, except for the very people whose fingerprints are on the bricks that built this country.
And that's what I said earlier. A lot of black American in America can't get nothing. But immigrants from everywhere else get something. A lot of American in America right now can't find a shelter bed to sleep in. But you have illegals that live in shelters. You have lots of black American have nowhere to live, but you have illegals are put up in hotels. You have lots of black American needs a welfare card and can't get it. But you have illegal people that don't look like the blacks getting those things. Oh my. Could you imagine?
There is no love for black people. There's no love in the system. How can you make a moral appeal to a people that have no moral code? How can you preach love to racists?
Yeah.
That got Dr. King killed. How can you promote love to a nation that is built on theft and genocide?
That's it.
What we preach is unity, black unity. Stop begging this system to justify our lives. Stop begging this system for justice. When things happen to you, you step up and defend yourself.
That's it.
Just like everybody else seeks justice on their own.
Yeah.
Just like everybody else has vigilantes.
Yep.
We need some black vigilantes.
Right.
That was a Black
People
Panther.
want to jump up
Until they rewrite the
and
history
choke
with the Black
us
Panther movie.
and kill us for being loud. How about we do the same when they attempt to oppress us?
Right.
I'm tired.
Tired.
I know you're looking for us to be like, oh, go and march. Go and march. No. This weekend, I want you to hold a community event everywhere from the Bronx to Houston to Seattle to Florida. Black people hold community events and talk about what you need. And talk about how to fix your issues.
That's it.
If the black politicians come, don't let them in.
No.
If they come, do not let them come and take over your fight for justice. Why? Because out of all the black politicians who said something about this initially, none of them came to court.
Yeah.
I'm sick of these people playing with our lives, our children's lives. Black people, if you are serious about yourselves, you'll take your education serious. You will open schools in your community. You will take your health serious and teach your people about health. You will take your self-defense serious. And you will defend yourselves in your communities. You want to take the information that's disseminated seriously? Then you will start your own media outlets. Because if America knew that Daniel Penny lied to the judges 5 times, lied to the cops 5 times,
Yep.
if they knew that all the people jumped off the train who were afraid within 30 seconds, and Daniel Penny choked them for 5.5 minutes, if they knew the truth, everybody would be on the side of...
Because if everybody jump off the train within 5 seconds, I jump off the train after the train start. Remember when you any train in the world. Remember when you're going to a stop, another stop from another stop to another stop. The train don't take a whole 10 minutes to get to another stop. It doesn't. That's why it's called the train, and that's why it's called the underground, right? So if that man was choked for 5 minutes, how do you choke somebody for 5 minutes not knowing that you're gonna kill them? And when everybody jumped off the train, where was the imminent danger? He had no knife, did he? The man was just hollering and screaming, I'm hungry, give me some food. He was hungry. I bet if it was a dog, everybody on that train would have tried to hold on that dog and give him something to eat and water. But when it comes to a black human being, nope. Let's choke him out. Let's call the police. Let's lock him up. Who cares about him? He's a nuisance, right? But I bet if it was a dog, someone would have grabbed that dog and fed that dog. It's troubling and disturbing. What can I say, people? The little boy lost his life, dancing on the train, homeless, mental illness and everything, and the system failed him. And the black community failed him as well. Peace and love.